Welcome everyone. Today I have a very exciting new Barbarian builds guide. And in this video, let's have a look at the demonstrations and you get to have a look. So this is before the nerf of the dungeon. And if you look closely, I'm currently level 61. We're versing on level 73 dungeon. Oh, my voice is kind of dying. Looking pretty good, right? So yes, this is my unkillable whirlwind Barbarian build. And I'll be going through this guide with you guys with a variety of showcase. So what you can have a look is I started this build around level 60 and also 61. And as I go further, what I want to show you guys is I have tested this build against multiple bosses and also elites. So over here you can see this is one of the PvP elites and we have no problem against this. And what you can notice is my cooldowns are getting lowered multiple times against this elite. And this really helps against the recent biggest nerf to the barbarians with the short cooldowns. Because I'm hitting against the elites, I'm gaining a lot of cooldown reduction. And this will be the center theme of the build, to have cooldown reduction and lots of fury. Now just to provide you guys with all the testings and also for this build and so as a replay, I happen to have found a butcher and I was unkillable against a butcher. So I'm level 62 against a butcher that is level 73 and I had no trouble against this butcher as well. I mean, during the time my damage was not the highest, but I had no trouble against killing the butcher just by tanking him. My friend was running around though, he was about to die. And as you guys might have expected, we have no trouble against the robots. And we're so mobile, we're so durable, most of the skills of the robots, we can easily maneuver out of it. And we have so much mobility and also movement. So same as usual, what I do is, at the end of the video, I have this highlight clip for you guys to show you guys against elite monsters, against different boss monsters, and then also against all the content in the game. And this build is really good at level 60, even better once I'm close to level 70. Now coming over to my character over here. Now what you guys gonna see is I have upgraded my gears since level 61 and also level 60. You can see some of my older gears. So what I'll do is, let's talk about the skill tree first, then I'll show you guys what gears I upgraded and also how I progressed from level 60 to level 70. Now, similar to all of our build videos, I'll be working with Mobalytics and also provide you guys with a cheat sheet of the summary of the spells and also the abilities and also the choice of legendaries. So make sure you guys check the links below and we'll be updating this build for you guys very soon. So first, coming over to the Paragon board. Now at the start of the game, likely you can only get one glyph. Now you can see I'm using the vulnerability glyph and here I'm using the shout glyph which lowers short cooldown. And finally over here I'm using the glyph that lowers the no ultimate skills cooldowns. So we're going for the special effects over here. Now what I recommend is you don't take this pathway at the start. So you can still take my pathway, but rather the first glyph should be lowering the cooldowns of your shouts. So there's two ways of doing this. If you find yourself casting a lot of shout and benefiting from the 1.2 second cooldown, have this glyph over here and also have this socket over here properly. Actually, I just realized I'm missing 5 strength and that's why I was not having enough cooldowns. This build could be even better. I can't believe I missed it. Notice this says 35 out of 40. It should be 40 out of 40 to have the special benefit. I'm here for the special benefit. So what I recommend is having the first glyph socketed as the bleeding that allows us to lower cooldowns is really good, killing bleeding enemies, or you can have it socketed as a shout, and this is really good. So let me quickly do this. This is so bizarre, I can't believe I missed this. And here you go, I get perk into strength, and now I'm back to 40 out of 40. I can't believe I was nearly at max my glyphs and I missed one. Now in terms of expertise, I recommend going with a technique with a two-hand axe. I haven't gotten too good two-hand axe to really max this out. You do want this one to be level 10. Notice the other two-handed weapons are level 10. So now coming over to my skill tree. Now I do want to remind you guys, I have gotten the additional skill points for unlocking the Reynolds for level 3. So we do have additional skill points and all the skill points that is available. So you can see 58 skill points. Now we'll be going with Launch Strike, and Launch Strike provides us with Berserk. If you're not having a lot of critical hits, you can go with Launch Strike provides bleeding, which is also really good. Now in terms of Whirlwind, I have managed to get Whirlwind to level 9, which is actually really incredible. I'll show you guys the items I have, and here we go with Whirlwind provide us with additional bleeding damage, which is quite important for a lot of casting and also special effects with our legendaries. Now because we're going with a vulnerability build, we'll be maxing out the vulnerability with the core spells. And over here, I have allocated 3 points into Rally Cry, 1 point into other shots. Now there's a reason behind it. After the nerf of the challenging shot, I don't think the 2% is that, significant for my skill point. And I think 3 points is enough for my Rally Cry because I have more items that provides more resource gain. Now if you do not have enough resource, go for 5 points into Rally Cry. Now the upgrades for those Rally Cry provide us with additional fury when we get hit with challenging shot, and also fortified over here. Now, one thing I do want to highlight, at the start of the game when I was about level 60, what I did was, I didn't go for the increase of movement speed, I didn't go for the increase of critical damage, and I think I didn't even go for the increase of critical damage over here. So what I did was, this is a critical chance by the way, so what I did was, I perked into 3 points into maximum life, and also 3 points into damage reduction against elites, and those really help at the early stage of the game, and that's how I become unkillable at level 60. Now I also have perk points into the Fortify gain and also additional Fortify to be gained to become extra durable because I have to be melee range and I want to survive. But of course guys, as my gears get upgraded, as I get more fury, as I get more resource gain, as I become stronger, I start to perk out of those. So I start to favor a bit of movement speed, I start to favor a bit of more critical damage and also critical chances. So you can see the change of skills over here after level 60. Now as for the passive, the shouts, I have 1 into 3 shouts of the duration of course, and also the reduction of enemies damage by 12%. This is essential for a lot of durability and also sustain. And we also have shouts that heals us for 1% life. Now the movement speed is definitely optional guys. If you don't find yourself needing this one, you can go for more damage. I'm thinking of perking this one out of something else. So if I don't go for this one, what I can go for is, I can be going for the Fortify over here and also additional damage when fortified. Now because we're going for a Berserk build, we'll be maxing out the Berserk passives with damage reduction and also resource gain. Now over here, you do really want 3 points into Pit Fighter for the damage reduction and also bonus damage. 1 point into the Hamstring Slow is a must, because our build can benefit from bleeding and also slowing enemies and also bonus damage. Now finally, as for the passives, you want to go into the maximum fury and come over here for the fury gain. Our fury spend give you maximum life heal, and this is why we could sustain as we keep spending lots of fury. One of the reasons we spend a lot of fury is because of the unburdening rage, and this allows us to do more damage and spend more fury. Now we'll be going with the Berserker of course, and this gives us all the upgrades. And of course over here, I'm using a two-handed weapon and allows us to deal more critical damage. Now coming over to the next part, this is quite important and I do want to highlight with you guys. You can see our gears over here, right? And what I do is at the end of the video, we have a small clip of showing you what are my stats of the gears one step at a time, so you can go through those carefully. So at the very start, let's go through the legendary aspects of choice, and then after that, let's go through what are the older gears I used to use and how I upgraded into those gears. As for the two-handed weapon, I'm going with a whirlwind that provides increased critical chance. Even after the nerf, this one's still okay, it is not great of course. Now as for the other two-handed weapon, notice I'm not crafting anything on it. It's because the crafting cost is so expensive and I'm hoping to get a better gear very soon. And if I don't, I'll be crafting this one. And here we have a lot of options to be crafting this one. So what I can do is, I can come over here and show you my stash. And yes, I have a bunch of items. So you can see I can be getting additional damage when I'm having barrier. So I can double this one to 50%. And over here we can have basic skills increase core skill damage. Other than that, we can have skills deal additional damage with high primary resource. And also we can be dealing more damage with core spells. And also casting a Dust Devil with a Fury spent. So those are optional for the two-handed weapon, but at the moment I didn't decide to go for any of those just to save my upgrade materials. Now for my one-handed weapon, they're pretty out of date. So this one I have Berserk. One Berserk allows me to do damage in terms of bleeding, which I do plan to eventually transfer this onto the two-hand for additional benefit. But for now it's on the one hand. So when you're Berserk, you can deal additional bleeding damage. And over here we have the increased damage onto the barriers. So it's only 21% here. I'm saving the 25% over here for now. Now coming over to the amulets and also accessories. As for the amulet, I'm going with increased barrier, and I do feel like this is really nice. You can be getting this one from the Lost Archive in Act 1 dungeons, and I'll show you guys the dungeon over here if you haven't gotten it. So this is the dungeon over here, the Lost Archive dungeons. You can get this particular aspect and also Codex crafted onto your items. Now even though this particular ability has a 20-second cooldown, but when the barrier is up, I'm almost unkillable with my maximum life and also with the barriers. And this also allows us to deal tremendous more damage with the barrier activated. Now by crafting this Codex onto the amulet gives us 1.5 times % more effect. So usually this is around 2000, now I'm getting close to 4000 of the maximum barrier. So this is my choice of becoming more durable. Now coming over to the amulets and coming over to the rings. So the two rings I was very lucky. what I recommend for the Barbarians is that you should be gambling rings non-stop until you get to close to the perfect rolls of your legendary aspects over here. So you want the shout skills to provide 4 resources per second, and everything else you can be crafting onto something else, right? So this is a really nice ring. And secondly, of course, you should be getting this nerfed legendary aspects. So this is the Loud Chieftain, I believe, and this one provides us with a cooldown reduction up to 6 seconds with the shouts. Used to be 12 seconds and that was so broken. So the combination of those two, notice I have been gambling rings non-stop until I was like level 60 and also plus. I eventually got those two, and those are pretty high rolls and very, very important. So what I do at level 100 is I'll be extracting those two and crafting those onto a better item. Now we'll be having a very important crafting and also gear guide very soon, and I want to go through the stats and also abilities of those items, and this can help you understand what you can get from your items and also deal a lot more damage. Now my helmet's choice is pretty straightforward. You want to be going with cooldown reduction, and over here I forgot to mention, for the amulet you want to look for fury cost reduction and also cooldown reduction. I couldn't roll into cooldown reduction, and I spent like 5 million gold rolling this one, so it's really difficult, and eventually I settled for the strength. So here you want cooldown reduction on your helmet as well. Now I have crafted the increased armor gain with the helmet. This one can easily go much higher, so I think I wasted a few good ones. Let me see if I can still find armor ones. So here, I have a decent one over here. I used to have an even better one and I kind of wasted. So you can see that this one is up to about, I think this is up to 67%, and while this is only up to 25%. So I'm saving this one for later, and those can be very good in the late game. Now in terms of the boots, you want to go with some increased movement speed and also whirlwind that pulls enemies, which will be really good. Now if you don't have this Codex or legendary aspects, you can be gambling for boots, and this is how I got this one. Now finally, as for the crafted legendary aspects or Codex, we'll have the increased fortify when we cast more fury over the maximum fury. And this is our pens that provide you with a maximum damage reduction and also total armor. This is actually quite important to become defensive and also unkillable. Now, save the best last. There are 2 pieces of the unique item that is going to be essential for this build. Now, it is okay if you don't have those, but those really help you with additional damage and also cooldown. Now, before I go into the items, of course, if you have them, it's really good. But if you do not have them, make sure you check out previous 2 videos. I found 2 of those gloves in Helltide. I'll show you this one more gloves over here. So yes, we have 2 gloves. I found 2 of those gloves in Helltide. You should be using a Helltide method to be farming for those rare items or those unique items in the Helltide. Now for the case Helltide is a little difficult, you can be farming similar items in the Legion event. So make sure you check the previous 2 videos which you time for the Legion event, and also you go for the Helltide. This is the best way of getting your unique items. Notice how many I got. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got like, 6 copies of those items. So 2 copies for the gloves and also 4 copies for the chest. And this allows me to build my Barbarians into a really good build for cooldown reduction, which allows me to lower my cooldowns as I inflict bleeding, and also over here, which allows me to do more damage with Whirlwind. Now briefly going through the skill combinations and also rotations for this build. Because you have 3 shots, and your major shot of resource gain is going to be your Rally Cry. You can use Rally Cry for mobility like I did over here, and once you get into the fray of enemies, you should be using your Berserk, which lowers damage as well. And then as you cast out your shots, you'll be lowering the damage of the enemies. And then finally, as you get lower, make sure you pop your potion. So at the moment, I was level 61 versus level 73 monsters. You can see I was a little weaker. But as I go stronger and also build my items into the late game, I get even better and also even more durable. Now in terms of the rotations against elites and also bosses, notice that this elite boss, which is actually considered as elite, notice my cooldowns are getting lowered constantly. This is because of the legendary chest. I actually meant unique chests, I keep calling them legendaries. So this chest have a really high chance, 40% lucky hit chance, to lower my cooldowns by 1.5 seconds that is not ultimate against bleeding elites. So here this monster is considered as an elite. A majority of the monsters you fight will be considered as elites, and this allows me to really get much lower cooldown because of this. And this allows me to almost constantly have an uptime on my rotations and also gain a lot of fury. Now finally, against monsters like the Butcher and also stronger minions, what you want to do is you want to be timing your shots correctly, maybe having at least 1 shot that is activated at a time. You don't want to be greedy, the goal is to survive and eventually you'll kill those stronger monsters. And the best part about this build is that you're so durable, even though you're a little short on fury at the start, you'll still make it and you can't be killed, which allows you to kill everything very fast. Now, if you guys haven't subscribed, it is a really good time to do so, because I'll be covering tons of Diablo 4 related topics and also videos and also guides. We'll be looking to the top meta builds, non-meta builds, leveling up, and also Paragon tricks. We're also looking to the latest events and also official updates, and also changes to different characters and also different builds in the game. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn the notification on, because a lot of you who are watching the videos have not subscribed. You can see 80% of the viewers who are watching our videos have not subscribed, so make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for the latest update for Diablo 4. Now here, come over to the final part of the replay. I'll also hover my items over my previous items so you can see where I upgrade those items from. So this is a level 59 item, this is a level 63 item, 50 item, and also level 59 item. You can see my previous items. So notice I started with a shot crafted with only 2 shots of 2 resource gain, and previously I had a ring that only provided 1.1 seconds of the cooldown reduction. This is why I say you should be gambling rings, guys. Gambling for those rings, this is the best way to go for those essential cooldown reduction and also resource gain.
low on fury swords. Not ready yet. I need more fury. Don't have enough fury. Not ready yet.
Now before you go, and if you guys didn't know, we have a new YouTube channel. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and check out the behind the scenes and also fun clips and also more stories about us. And then you get to know me a little more personally instead of just reading the news and also the games, right? So I want to share a little bit more with you guys. So make sure you check this channel out if you're interested about Matt and also Uni. She's really funny too, and she's really shy. So I want to give her a surprise and do a shout out for the new channel to get some subscribers. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time.